Hello, and welcome to Podcast for English. My name is Linda. I'm really happy you're here today. This channel is for people who want to learn English in a simple and natural way. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to speak fast. You don't need to understand every word. You only need to listen. You can listen while you rest. You can listen while you work. You can listen while you live your daily life. Take a deep breath, relax your body, clear your mind. Now, let's begin today's English lesson together. In today's podcast, we are talking about fear, not ability, not intelligence, not talent. Today's topic is this: fear is blocking your English, not your ability. Many people believe they are bad at English. They think, I'm not smart enough. I don't have language talent. But this is not the real problem. The real problem is fear. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of sounding wrong. Fear of being judged. This podcast is here to help you see that clearly. Today, we are not here to teach grammar. We are here to understand what is happening inside your mind. Because English feels hard, not when ability is missing, but when fear is present. This episode is for you if your heart feels tense when you hear English. It is for you if your mind goes blank when you try to speak. It is for you if you avoid listening because it feels stressful. These reactions are not signs of weakness. They are signs of fear. Fear blocks listening. Fear blocks memory. Fear blocks confidence. Ability does not disappear. It is still there, but fear covers it. In this podcast, we will talk about how fear works, why it appears, and how it slowly blocks your English. You do not need to remove fear today. You only need to understand it. Understanding fear is the first step to releasing it. As you listen, you do not need to agree with everything. You only need to listen calmly. Let this idea settle in your mind. Fear is blocking your English, not your ability. And when you see this clearly, change can begin. Fear enters the learning process quietly, not suddenly, not loudly. Many people do not notice when fear begins. At first, learning English feels normal. You listen, you study, you try. Then one day, something happens. You make a mistake. Someone corrects you. Someone laughs. Someone looks confused. This moment stays. The brain remembers emotion more than information, so fear enters. The next time you hear English, your body reacts. Your heart beats faster. Your shoulders feel tight. Your mind becomes alert. You may not notice this clearly, but fear is there. Fear enters when learning feels unsafe. Unsafe does not mean dangerous. It means the brain feels judged. The brain asks, is it safe to try? Is it safe to be wrong? If the answer feels no, fear appears. Fear also enters when learning feels rushed, when you are pushed to speak too fast, when you are pushed to understand everything. Speed creates pressure. Pressure creates fear. Fear enters when learning feels like a test. right or wrong, pass or fail. Language becomes performance. Performance creates stress. Stress invites fear. Fear also enters through comparison. You hear others speak well. You feel behind. You compare your beginning to their middle. This comparison creates shame. Shame feeds fear. Once fear enters, it changes behavior. You listen less. You speak less. You avoid English. Avoidance feels safe, but avoidance keeps fear alive. Fear does not mean you are weak. Fear means your brain is trying to protect you. It believes English is a threat. This belief is learned, and what is learned can be unlearned. But first, you must see fear clearly. Fear did not come because you lack ability. Fear came because learning felt unsafe. Understanding this changes everything because you stop blaming yourself. And when blame stops, healing can begin. Fear changes how you listen and how you speak. Not a little, a lot. When fear is present, listening becomes hard. Not because the sound is fast, but because the mind is tense. A tense mind cannot receive language well. When you listen with fear, you listen differently. You do not listen for meaning. You listen for danger. You wait for words you do not know. You wait for mistakes. You wait to fail. This makes listening stressful. The brain stays alert. It does not relax. And without relaxation, understanding drops. Fear also affects memory. When fear is high, memory becomes weak. You hear words, but they do not stay. You listen, but nothing feels clear. This can make you think, I can't understand English. But the problem is not understanding. It is fear blocking the process. Fear also changes speaking. When fear is present, your mind goes blank. You know words, but they disappear. You want to speak, but nothing comes out. This is very common. Fear sends a signal to the brain. Stay safe. Do not risk. Speaking feels risky, so the brain shuts down language. This does not mean you forgot English. It means fear took control. Fear also makes you judge yourself. You think about pronunciation. You think about grammar. You think about being wrong. This thinking slows speaking. Language needs flow. Fear breaks flow. Fear also makes you quiet. You choose silence instead of trying. Silence feels safe, but silence does not build ability. Ability grows through use. Fear blocks use. Over time, fear creates a pattern. You avoid listening. You avoid speaking. English becomes distant. This distance makes fear stronger. But this cycle can be changed. When fear is reduced, listening improves. When fear is reduced, speaking returns. Not because you learned more, but because fear moved away. Understanding this is very important because you stop saying, I'm bad at English. You start saying, fear is in the way. And when you see fear clearly, you can begin to work with it, not against it, gently, one step at a time. Fear often feels very real, even when there is no danger. This confuses many learners. They think, why am I afraid? Nothing bad is happening. But fear does not need real danger. Fear needs memory. The brain remembers past experiences, moments of stress, moments of embarrassment, moments of shame. These moments leave a mark. The brain connects English with those feelings. So when you hear English again, fear appears, not because of danger, but because of memory. The brain's job is to protect you. It does not ask, is this logical? It asks, did this feel bad before? If the answer is yes, fear turns on. This happens very fast. Before you can think, your body reacts. Your heart beats faster. Your muscles tighten. This reaction feels real because it is physical. Fear lives in the body, not only in the mind. This is why telling yourself, don't be afraid, often does not work. The body does not listen to logic. It listens to experience. Fear also feels real because it comes with stories. Stories like, I will fail. I will sound stupid. I will not understand. These stories feel true when fear is present. Fear makes them louder. Another reason fear feels real is repetition. If you avoid English many times, the brain learns, avoidance keeps me safe. This strengthens fear. Fear becomes a habit. Habits feel real, but habits can be changed. Fear is not a fact. Fear is a reaction, a learned reaction. And what is learned can be relearned. Fear feels real, but it is not permanent. It changes with new experiences. When you listen calmly, when nothing bad happens, when you stay, the brain updates, it learns, this is safe. Slowly, fear loses power. Understanding this is important because you stop fighting fear, you stop blaming yourself, you start creating new experiences. And new experiences are how fear fades. Avoiding English feels safe at first. When you avoid, you feel relief. You do not feel nervous. You do not feel stressed. This relief feels good, but it does not last. Avoiding English actually makes fear stronger. Each time you avoid, your brain learns something. It learns, avoidance keeps me safe. This lesson goes deep. The next time you see English, fear appears faster, stronger, because the brain remembers that avoidance worked before. This creates a cycle. Fear appears. You avoid. Fear feels better. Fear grows. The cycle repeats. Avoidance also reduces exposure. You hear English less, you practice less, you stay away. Without exposure, the brain never learns that English is safe. So fear stays. Avoidance also changes how you see yourself. You start thinking, I can't handle this. I'm not good at English. These thoughts feel true because you never test them. Avoidance removes proof. Proof that you can listen. Proof that you can stay. Proof that nothing bad happens. Without proof, fear controls the story. Avoiding English also keeps ability hidden. Your ability does not disappear. It stays unused, like a muscle that is never moved. When a muscle is not used, it feels weak, but it is not broken. English ability is the same. Avoidance makes it feel lost, but it is still there. Avoidance also increases pressure. When you finally face English, fear feels bigger because time has passed, because distance grew. English feels more dangerous than it really is. This is why avoidance is powerful and dangerous, not because you are weak, but because the brain learns quickly. The good news is this: the same way fear was learned, it can be unlearned. Avoidance makes fear stronger. Approach makes fear weaker. Not fast, not suddenly, but gradually. And understanding this is the first step to breaking the cycle. Gentle exposure reduces fear, not strong exposure, not forced exposure. Gentle exposure. Many people think they must face fear in a big way. They think, I must speak a lot. I must understand everything. This creates more fear. Fear does not need big challenges. Fear needs safety. Gentle exposure means small contact. Listening for a few minutes. Hearing simple English. Staying without pressure. This tells the brain, I am safe. The brain learns through experience, not through explanation. Each gentle exposure creates a new memory, a calm memory. This memory slowly replaces old, fearful memories. At first, fear may still appear. This is normal. You do not run away. You do not force. You stay gently. Staying is important because staying shows the brain that nothing bad happens. Gentle exposure also lowers expectation. You are not trying to perform. You are not trying to be perfect. You are just listening. This removes pressure. Pressure feeds fear. Removing pressure weakens fear. Gentle exposure also builds familiarity. The more you hear English, the less strange it feels. Familiar sound feels safe. Safe learning reduces fear. Another important point is control. Gentle exposure allows you to stop when needed. This sense of control calms the brain. Calm brains learn better. Over time, fear changes. It does not disappear suddenly. It becomes quieter. It appears less often. And when it appears, it feels weaker. This is progress. Gentle exposure is not fast, but it is effective. It respects the brain. It respects your pace. And when fear is respected, it slowly lets go. This is how fear fades, not by force, but by gentle presence. Confidence returns when fear is reduced, not when ability increases. Many people believe they need to improve their English to feel confident, but confidence does not wait for perfection. Confidence appears when fear steps back. When fear is strong, confidence hides. It does not disappear. It waits. When fear becomes quieter, confidence has space. This is important to understand because many learners already have ability. They understand more than they think. They know more than they feel, but fear blocks access. When fear is reduced, access returns. You listen, and your mind feels calmer. You speak, and words come back. Not perfectly, but naturally. Confidence returns because the brain is no longer in danger mode. When danger mode is off, the brain allows flow. Language needs flow. Flow does not exist in fear. Flow exists in safety. Reducing fear also changes self-talk. You stop saying, I can't do this. You start saying, I can try. This small change matters because confidence is built from permission. Permission to try. Permission to be imperfect. Fear removes permission. Reducing fear gives it back. Confidence also returns through experience. You listen and nothing bad happens. You speak and you survive. These experiences build quiet confidence, not loud confidence, not dramatic confidence, real confidence. Confidence that says, I can stay. I can continue. This confidence does not push, it supports. You stop forcing yourself, you stop hiding, you begin to trust your own pace. This trust is confidence. Confidence also returns when learning feels human, not like a test, not like performance, just communication. When English becomes a tool, not a judgment, confidence grows naturally. Fear blocks English. Reducing fear unblocks it. Ability was always there. Confidence returns when fear steps aside. And when confidence returns, learning becomes possible again. Moving forward does not mean removing fear completely. Fear may still appear, but fear does not have to decide. Many people wait until fear is gone. They think, when fear disappears, I will continue. But fear often stays longer than we expect. So the goal is not to eliminate fear. The goal is to move with fear. You move gently, you move slowly, you move with awareness. This changes the relationship between you and fear. Fear becomes a signal, not a stop sign. It says, this is new, not this is dangerous. Moving forward means choosing action even when fear whispers. Not loud action, not big action, small action. Listening for a few minutes, staying with one short episode, not turning away. These actions show the brain that fear is not in control. Each time you move forward, fear loses authority. Not all at once, little by little. Moving forward also means choosing kindness. You do not fight yourself. You do not criticize yourself. You say, it's okay to feel this. I can still continue. This tone matters because fear grows under harsh pressure and fear shrinks under gentle support. Another part of moving forward is patience. Fear was learned over time. It will fade over time. You do not rush this process. You respect it. Respect creates safety. Safety reduces fear. Moving forward also means changing focus. You stop focusing on how you feel. You focus on what you do. Feelings change after action, not before. This is a key lesson. English becomes easier when action leads and feelings follow. You listen first, you calm later, you try first. Confidence follows. When you move forward this way, fear no longer controls you. It may walk beside you, but it does not lead. Ability becomes visible again. Confidence slowly returns. And English begins to flow, not because fear is gone, but because fear is no longer in charge. This is real progress, quiet, gentle, lasting. You've reached the end of today's episode. Before you leave, I want you to remember one simple thing. You did something good for yourself today. You listened. You stayed. You didn't give up. And that matters. Learning English is not about being fast. It is not about being perfect. It is about showing up again and again. Some days will feel easy. Some days will feel hard. Both are normal. Progress does not always feel exciting. Sometimes it feels quiet. Sometimes you don't notice it at all. But learning is still happening. Every minute you listen, your ears are learning new sounds. Your mind is learning new patterns. Your confidence is growing, even if you cannot see it yet. You don't need to push yourself. You don't need to compare yourself to others. You are on your own path, and your pace is enough. Let English be part of your daily life. Listen while you rest. Listen while you work. Listen while you live your normal day. If this episode helped you feel calmer, more focused, or more motivated, then your time here was well spent. Come back when you can. Come back when you need a quiet space to learn. My name is Linda, and this is Podcast for English. Thank you for learning with me. Until next time, keep going and never give up. Believe in yourself, because you are stronger than you think.